Welcome to another episode of Short and Sweet, your 5-minute guide to everything auto electrical, full driving and camping. Now in this episode, I'm talking 5 ways to fix a flat battery or jumpstart your vehicle. Of course, the first thing to do if your car is cranking slowly is to turn off anything that could be sucking any power. Turn off your interior lighting, your radio, and anything that's plugged into your 12-volt or USB sockets, pull them out. And if you like this series, make sure you hit subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you won't miss anything else. Number 1, you can't beat a pair of good quality jumper leads. If you are on a trip with someone else, you can always jump start off their vehicle. Otherwise, if you have a second battery, you can always jump start off that too. If you need to, grab it out, put it near the front battery, then connect it up like this. Step 1, connect the positive red lead to the dead battery, then the red lead to the good battery. Then the black lead onto the good battery. Finally, connect the other end of the black lead somewhere to an earth point under the bonnet. Don't go straight back to the battery as it could spark. The other option, of course, is a lithium jump starter like this. They do the same job, but they're a lot more compact and lightweight. Number 2, if you've had a cold night and your car won't start in the morning, it could be that your battery is too cold. Batteries have a CCA or cold cranking amp rating that's tested at -18 degrees. Plus, most batteries will also have a cranking amp or marine cranking amp rating, which is measured at 0 degrees. And you'll notice that the cranking amps are a lot higher than the cold cranking amps. That's because as batteries get colder, they lose cranking ability. Plus, if your engine's cold, your oil will be thicker and it will be harder to vaporize that fuel, making it harder to start. A battery at 0 degrees Celsius will only have about 65% of the cranking ability of a battery that's sitting at 25 degrees Celsius. So if it has been a cold night or it's a particularly cold morning, it can make a big difference to your starting. So if you're out bush, an awesome way to warm up your battery is to heat up some water in your kettle and then pour it directly onto the battery. Of course, be careful of any electronics and your air intake. Number 3 is similar to number 2 in that it involves warming up the battery. When you trickle charge a battery, the chemical reaction inside actually warms up the electrolyte. So, if you've got a solar panel and it's in the morning, make sure you set it up to warm up the battery. You get the benefit of extra charge and extra warmth into your battery. On a cold but sunny morning, even opening your bonnet and getting some sun on the battery itself can make a difference. So pack a portable solar blanket or panel and you'll be able to charge up and get out of trouble. Number 4, sometimes your battery might seem flat if it's not getting a good connection. So if you've got dirty or loose terminals, you'll need to sort them out. Step 1 is to boil some water and clean off any acid. Now ideally, if you have some bicarb soda floating around in your drawers, you'd use some of that to neutralize that battery acid residue. Or you could even use a soft drink because the carbonated drink actually works to neutralize it as well. It could make the whole area sticky though. And whichever way you choose, make sure you wash off all the residue from your inner guards and components so it doesn't wreck anything. Now once you've cleaned it up, if you refit the terminals and they're loose, you've got to make sure you can tighten them up. If you're out of adjustment, you can use the same soft drink you've just used to fix that too. Cut a shim out of the can, wrap it around the battery post and then refit the terminal so that you can fasten it tightly. Hopefully the clean terminal and tight fit reduces the resistance and gives you plenty of cranking power. And number 5, it's time to get creative. It's time to look for anything in your vehicle that you could use to transfer some charge into your starter battery. That could be a cordless tool battery or even a laptop battery. You're ideally looking for something in that 12 to 15 volt range. But if you only have an 18 volt battery, it'll work as well. Just make sure that you disconnect the battery as soon as the vehicle starts. You could even use AA batteries to trickle charge your starter battery if it's just not turning over. It might not always work, but it's definitely worth a try. You'll need at least 10 AA batteries, but if you can rustle up between 20 and 24, you'll have a better chance. You'll need to wire 10 to 12 in series and then connect them to your battery and let it charge up for about 15 minutes or more. If you do have more batteries, you'll need to wire those in parallel to double the amp capacity. And if you're desperate, give your engine the most chance to fire by using some of the other methods too, like warming your vehicle starter battery to make sure it's outputting the most that it can. Now, it was fairly ambitious thinking that AA batteries would be able to charge up and start a car that had a battery down at 10.3 volts, which is absolutely dead. But I have no doubt if you had a battery that was around 12 volts, had enough power to kick over the starter but not start your vehicle, this would absolutely work. So there you go, 5 ways that'll help you get out of trouble if you have a flat battery or your car won't start. Let us know in the comments below if you've ever used any of these methods, or if you've got any better ideas, we'd love to hear them. Again, if you liked this video, make sure you hit subscribe and that notification bell so you don't miss anything else in this awesome series. And take a minute to check out the rest of the channel. There's plenty of tips, tricks and techniques for auto electrical, camping and 4-wheel driving.